Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Arch with Imran. I'm Imran. I hope you guys are having a great day. And today I'm going to be going through my final second year design submission. Now, I recently just submitted this and I thought I'd show you guys. Now, quick disclaimer, I don't claim for my work to be amazing and I don't even have a grade for it, but this is more to give you guys an idea of how I responded to the brief and the kind of brief I received. So, let's get into it. Okay, so here we are. This is the front page of my work. It's very simple. Now, just before we get into it, my design is an ecology centre. So we were given a brief and we were given the option of either doing a museum, an ecology centre, or a re-education centre in Portsmouth. And we were given optional sites, but we could pick our own based on the design. So I picked my own. Okay, so this year, because we haven't been allowed to submit sketchbooks, we've also been submitting online blogs. So I've done one here. If you guys want to go check out the work I've got on my blog, follow that link, or you can scan that QR code and you should be taken to my blog. Now, a little bit of backstory. The first thing is a narrative. So the topic we're currently studying is called Design Architectural Narratives. And the point is we're seeing how well we can use a narrative and a story to inform a design. So at the start of the project, everyone in the year was asked to create a narrative. Some people did models, some people did video. I did an oil pastel drawing with a poem on it. And you can pause this and read it, but in this poem, essentially, it's a bird's eye panorama of Portsmouth skyline that I took on my drone. And I've drawn it in oil pastel, and then I've got a story along with it to describe the view of a bird flying over Portsmouth. And it's seeing all of the people below, the unity, all of the people coming together and people talking. And it's basically a story traveling from high up, far away from Portsmouth, and going down into Portsmouth and perching on a rooftop on the main street. And it talks about seeing people in restaurants and all of the community in the area. You will see how this really closely will tie into the idea of the ecology centre, and I already knew I wanted to do the ecology centre when I wrote this narrative, so I tailored it slightly towards that. Now, the site I've chosen is Ravelin Park, so I've done a bit of research on Ravelin Park. Now, just to inform you guys, Portsmouth has got a really rich military history. As you can see in this diagram, there were fortifications protecting the majority of the city, and the point of the Ravelins were they were designed to stop full frontal attacks. So they were large triangular structures, and when people would say someone wanted to attack Portsmouth, they would have to split up around these Ravelins, making them easier to be targeted by defences. And that has very clearly informed the design. And what I've said is the original design of the Ravelin, as you can see here, was to separate people. I'm going to now use this space and this same park with this history to unite people and bring them together. I've also talked about how my narrative here directly informs the design with the idea of the bird. So I've decided that I want my ecology centre to be small buildings with a large canopy, and this canopy is kind of reflective of that bird and the narrative, overlooking all of the people below it and keeping them safe. So here we have a site analysis. This is using the exact same technique as my original site analysis. I'll leave a link in the card. And here's the one you guys saw in the other video. I'll also leave a link for how I made that one. Now, I've done a quick response to the site, and if you understand it, this ecology centre is based along one of the main footpaths in the park. And the point is, there's a lot of traffic of all different ages, uni students, general public that go down this path, and my intention is with the design to pull people off that main path and just encourage them to interact a bit more. I've noticed some of the key views, where the glass will be in the canopy, circulation, water drainage for the canopy, which also is used for grey water in the toilets, and where the canopy will be supported with columns. So, if you also see my precedent video, I talk about how different precedents can be used to inform a design, and I talk about that here. So firstly, I have the Stonehenge Visitor Centre, and you can see how it informed the idea of the roof and how I used that as a basis for the shape and for the technology used in my canopy. And then, as I also mentioned in my precedent video, we have Minano Mori in Japan, and I used this idea for this wooden lattice to create a organic shape underneath the roof that will be suspended. and this was directly informed, and I also used the same roof technology. This wooden lattice also contains the idea of unity and bringing people together that also was echoed throughout the entire design of this building. So here we go, we have an initial design concept. I really like the look of Seville building, which you can see on my blog if you wish to have a look. And I got a lot of inspiration from that, and then it was more just understanding how I wanted to have a rough canopy design. I also have a party diagram showing my initial plans for where I would lay out each building, and you can see how that then develops into the floor plan in a minute. Now, as I've said in previous videos, a lot of marking in university is for showing your process, your development, your inspiration, so I try and make all of that really clear before I show my actual design. So here are some of my sketches. I talk about the placement of the buildings, how this reception building here is pulled inwards to entice people to come into this space, and other buildings are pulled outwards to create more privacy. You can see a rough floor plan here, as well as some of my initial sketches, my experimental sketches for the exterior facade, and my 4D massing diagram, which I also will put a link to the tutorial in the card. So here we go to my proposal. Unfortunately, I'm not too happy with too many of my renders, but I intend to go back and redo all of my renders and final presentation ready for my portfolio. So here is a basic render of the design. You can see how the canopy facade, the exterior facades of the building, I've tried to vary quite a lot, and that is because it's a very simple structure, so I wanted to create some complexity in the facade. You can see the site plan, and you can also see the glass in the roof, and you can also see how it sits along this main footpath in this park. Now, so here we have my floor plans, so I'll just quickly talk you guys through. As you can see, the main footpath, you have meeting rooms here. These are private. You also have a reception area / office where people will come in, and it's all glass, so you can see and talk to people, and there is a desk here where people will be sitting so you can talk, buy tickets, etc. You have a classroom on this corner. You have a culinary studio here with a rooftop garden, which can be seen here, and the idea is that people can go to the roof, pick the herbs, and then you go to the culinary workshop and you learn how to cook with them, etc. There are toilets, cafe area, kitchen, a lecture hall in the back, as well as a library and more toilets here. The library also has a rooftop access, and it's more of a quiet space for reading. Now, as you can see, I'm continually experimenting with different design styles, and this is the time to do it if you're in university. Continually trying different styles. I'm still finding what I like, and then I'll be refining that later on in the years. So here we have my elevations. You can now clearly see the exterior facade. I talk about the ideas that I've mentioned regarding the complexity, and you get a west elevation and an east elevation. And then we go to sections. So here you can see the section through the classroom, the reception area, the meeting rooms, and the library, as well as the section area through the lecture hall, the kitchen, the cafe, and the culinary workshop, as well as the rooftop garden. Now again, I'm not too happy with all of these presentation styles. I tried a different style and I'm not too keen on them, but I intend to go back and redo them, and I'll do a video on that and how I've done that different style when I do them. So again, we have more simple renders. Here is a simple render of the rooftop. Now this was done in V-Ray on Rhino. I'm personally not too keen on V-Ray for Rhino, and I like to use Lumion personally, but this was a last minute thing, so I've put these in. And I've also done a render of the interior culinary area just to give you an idea of the worktops and the space. Now I've done another render of the main social space. You can see how large it is, how open it is. I would like to have put people in, but unfortunately I was running out of time as I submitted, so I'm going to again go back and redo all of these renders, and I'll do a video. So I've also made it very clear to put some digital screenshots of my Rhino model because the model was quite complex. You can clearly see all the rooms, and what I've done is I've done 2 clipping planes on images like these, and it allows you to see in all of the rooms. I've also done some without the canopy to show the rough layout, and some with the canopy. Now, we were also required to do a technical section, so I've done this very simply just in Illustrator, and what I've shown is a rough idea for the construction of the wall, applying knowledge I've got from technology, and I've done a rough technical section for the canopy just to show how it all comes together. And here I also talk about the materials in the exterior facade and in the canopy, and I've done a small axonometric just to show how the grid will attach to the tubular steel suspension, which is attached to the aluminium grid, which is then attached to the glass fiber reinforced concrete. And finally, I've done a bit on environmental strategies. So in this, I talk about some of the design strategies I've implemented to try improve the overall eco-friendliness of the building. So firstly, I have wing walls. So this site is roughly north facing, so up here is roughly north, and this site gets a lot of westerly winds. So what I did was I didn't want there to be high pressure currents going down these small gaps, because the air would come through here and it would create patches of high pressure. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to find a way around this that didn't use any form of technology. And a very simple thing was wing walls. And the way I've implemented this is in this lecture hall here. This box is simply a storage closet, and in here it's actually what part of the toilet. So there's no space wasted in these wing walls. And what they do is they catch air and basically create vortexes which stop air coming through these channels. Another one is the use of the canopy. This was intentional because the climate in the UK tends to be very cold majority of the time. This will create its own microclimate. So as heat rises, it cannot pass through the canopy, and the glass in the canopy allows, it's single pane and allows a lot of solar light through, which can heat the area, and then it doesn't escape essentially. And then finally, there's rain collection, which is guttering all around the edge of the canopy, which is collected and used for grey water storage for toilets. And it can also be used to water plants. And guys, that is all we have time for today. This is my second year design final submission. As you can tell, I'm very happy it's done. Please leave in the comments, what did you guys like? What would you change? And do you guys have any suggestions for styles I should try, or things I could do to my renders? Hopefully you guys found this video informative, and please remember to check out the link in the description for the new Discord and for the new Instagram, and I'll catch you guys in a video. Have a lovely day.